Wilmington Throwdown!
Welcome to the Throwdown. This week, we're in Wilmington, Massachusetts at CrossFit Aries.
Our demo athlete this week is TTT athlete Kristen Molly.
We've got for time 27, 21, 15, 9 of calories on the rower, box jump overs, calories on the echo bike, and wall balls.
Hi guys, TTT Throwdown number, not sure. Kristen Molly at CrossFit Aries in Wilmington, Massachusetts. I'm gonna try to pace the bike and the row, just because wall balls and box jumps aren't my strongest. So I'm gonna make sure that I can execute those without stopping too much and try and just maintain probably like 900s on the row and then like mid 50s on the bike. So hopefully I can do that and then really take advantage of my transitions to try and move right to the next movement without pausing too long, right?
This is like my favorite kind of throwdown when there are two machines in the workout.
I don't know how I feel about this one.
All right. Kristen talked about pacing the ergs, and I think that's probably wise for most people, but the separation in this workout will come on both the row and the bike. So if you're really good at these, you're good at the echo bike or the row erg, you should try to push the pace there because you can make up a lot of time.
Did you call it a row erg?
A row erg.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I think it is called a row erg technically.
Yeah.
Mia, what do you think about that?
About the name row erg
or her rowing?
Pacing? I mean, I agree with Brandon. I think there's also going to be a difference between the way males approach this workout and females because it is the same amount of calories. So the total time for women will be probably a good chunk longer, and that might call for a little bit more pacing on the ergs, even though they are the separator, but you need to be a little bit more in control there.
I forgot that Chris had fast forwarded this, so 147 to finish the row. She's already on the box jumps going there.
She said she wanted to hold 900. I think with that pace, then she probably did execute in the 900s for that round.
Yeah, that's right.
One thing to potentially consider here if you're doing step down box jumps is because there's no rebound, when you get to the other side, if you're already coiled and ready to jump up, it'll obviously make it a little bit harder because you're going a little bit faster. But I think the net effect of that is you save a pretty good amount of time, and it's not that much extra energy. It's kind of just almost being set right there when the foot hits to jump up instead of taking that extra like half second to settle on each rep.
So basically when you get to the ground, your knees are already kind of bent, your hands are behind you to jump. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, yeah. Just so that transition from floor back up to the box is a little quicker because the rest of it is kind of smooth for here. Like she's got good footwork, getting off. It's just like when she hits the ground right there, there's almost a full second pause. So over 27, that's almost 30 seconds. And then the 21, that's 50 total seconds. So if that could potentially be a minute and a half of extra time in the workout, just not having a very quick impulse off the ground. Something to think about.
So I think one of the hardest things to execute under fatigue for me is getting the echo bike in particular up to pace quickly, but do your best to do that in this workout because it does make a big difference.
If that is something you struggle with, I will give Brandon a shout out right now to his Miko's progressions because they have some sprint intervals that really helped me with being able to do that under fatigue.
Yeah, we did Tabata intervals for that. So those that are in the program and you're doing those extra, it's the second day of work in Miko's triangle. That's been really helpful for me too. I just did the fittest of the coast workout and being able to get back on the rower and just start pulling right away. I mean, you really can make up probably 5 seconds per round or maybe even more against someone that's just kind of easing into their pace.
Did you count how many she just did there, Mia? I was listening to Brandon and I got distracted.
Count, but
I think
maybe
it was
9, just based on general.
Yeah, I was going to guess 8. I'll count this set.
Man, I will say this. Going from box jump to the bike to the wall ball, that's very dense leg fatigue.
This whole workout is going to be very dense leg fatigue.
That is true. Yeah, the row too.
Yeah.
You can kind of use your arms and low back. Maybe
no, it's going to blow your legs up. There's no way around it. All right, so she's doing 7s here. I don't know for sure. I'm sitting like 6 feet back from the monitors who are watching this. It looks like some of the reps maybe are a little bit close on depth, but then some of them are like great. So just maybe something to be mindful of either angle or just maybe be a little bit more exaggeration, or put a little bit more exaggeration into getting to depth here.
I do think that breaking up the wall balls is smart. It's a easy break. It's quick. You just have to make sure that you don't over rest in that time. But that's really the only place. I mean, I guess you can rest on the box jump overs, but that probably doesn't give you as much relief as taking a small break on the wall balls.
Yeah, breaking the wall balls makes a lot of sense, especially for those that are worried about the erg slowing down. Mia, to your point, and I say this all the time, but like if you're going to break a movement, have a plan in place for how long you want your rest to be and try to stay disciplined to that. At some point, you have to elongate your rest, but especially in the first round, maybe you say, okay, it's going to be 7 seconds, and that's as long as my rest time can be, and stick to that. Have a friend that's calling it out for you, whatever. It'll help you be a better athlete.
She had a pretty smooth transition onto the rower. If you just want to like afterwards rewind and look or pay attention to the next one, where she puts one foot in while grabbing the handle and does like a half pull while getting her other foot in. I think that's a good way to transition and get the wheel rolling.
Couple things. So she finished like 8 minutes for the whole first 21s. Brandon, any
27s.
idea? Or yeah, sorry, 27s. What are your thoughts on like elite male finishing through that 27s, elite female, just to try to give some perspective as to like how much faster that would be?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about, an elite athlete's probably able to keep the box jumps really fast and the wall balls unbroken, so they're saving a lot of time there. But the biggest separator, again, going back to the ergs, will be the concept to row erg and the echo bike. An elite male's probably holding 15 to 1600 on the row erg, which means a minute and 15 to a minute and 25 seconds for 27 calories. And then on the echo bike, they're probably holding almost 500 watts in that first round, which is a minute and 15 or a minute and 20 seconds. So you're making up so much time. But there are levels to the sport, and everyone knows this. When there's a machine that's in a workout and it's 4 calories, you can see it on the leaderboard, even in the open, of
yes,
like all these really high-powered males or females are like minutes ahead of everyone else, and it's really hard to get to that pace.
Yeah. And so she was 8 minutes to finish. She got on the rower, and her 21 cals were about a minute 37. Her 27 cals were a minute 47. So I think that's probably going to be true for a lot of people, that the 27 and 21 take close to the same amount of time, because the 27 you're kind of fresh and can get like a nice sprint start. And then by the time you get back to the 21s, you've already done 27 box jumps, 27 cals echo, 27 cals or 27 wall balls. So you're just a little bit more gassed at that point.
What are your opinions on like if that first row, obviously you're fresh and you can row a little faster, but it will fall off? Do you think it's still worth rowing faster at the beginning just because you're fresh, like use it while you have it type thing?
I think it very much depends on the athlete. I would say at this level, it would make sense to just go out a little bit hot, because there's a lot of breaks then embedded in the workout anyway. For somebody who's like maybe a little bit more at the top levels of competition, you probably wouldn't want them to, if this is going to be a 15-minute workout for them, or, somewhere between 15 and 20, they probably don't want to go out like super, super hot. But it's hard to turn that off in CrossFitters. I feel like every time you go to a CrossFit comp, round one's fast.
Well, I think people should measure it. Sorry to cut you off, Mia, but if you're doing a workout like this, it'd actually be really good to either have someone do it for you, or just like notate it and write it down after, of what's your 27 cal pace, what's your 21 cal pace, 15 and 9, and then evaluate, could I slow down and hold a higher average across all, or is it better to bank some time? So for example, if I started at 1500, but then my 21 round was at 1000, and then my 15 and 9s were at 800, that's going to be slower than if I just held 1250 across, right?
Sure.
Like the average is going to be a little bit faster there.
Yeah, I guess the question there is, are you going to fall off anyways?
Well, that was going to be my second point, is I just don't think CrossFitters are enduring enough to actually hold steady paces. I used to think that it's probably better to pace earlier on, and even high-level athletes, most of them are not capable of holding, let's just say it was 1250. They're going to drop off anyhow, so I actually do think banking makes sense for most people.
So go out hot anyways.
Well, I don't necessarily think
effort.
it's hot, but it's what the pace that feels good at the beginning is
It's
not
just
going
a
to
little
feel
bit
good
faster.
later on, but
Yeah.
it doesn't mean like sprint the first round.
Yeah, you definitely cannot red line in the first round, but if your goal was 1250 average, maybe you start at 1325 or 1350, and that gives you 5 more seconds to bank later on in the workout.
Yeah. Something I missed it because we are fast forwarding a little bit through the speed of the ergs, but she was pretty close to 16 minutes. It was like somewhere in the mid 15s getting back to the rower after the rounds of 21, which means it took almost the same amount of time to go through the 21 rounds as the 27 rounds. So she definitely went out at a little bit of a faster pace. I think like the rest breaks on the box here, a couple more rest breaks on the wall ball. I would guess, I don't really know, but if she said she was trying to pace the ergs, that she's probably maintaining similar paces on the ergs in both rounds.
Yeah, I think there's been more pauses on the box and then more breaks on the wall balls.
Yeah.
But we can't really see the paces on the ergs. For this workout, definitely for females and then for males who aren't that powerful, the Echo Bike will be the most punishing time suck-wise when you're falling off. So I would just be aware of that. If you're on the rower and you fall off by like 50 cals per hour, it's not as detrimental. But if you fall off by 2 RPMs on the rower, it makes a big difference on your total time.
Yeah, that's a great point. And this just made me think of something else. We had a workout not too long ago that was for meters on the row. That's a different pacing strategy. So just keep that in mind when we're talking about like being more aggressive on one versus another. If this was 4 meters either on the Echo Bike or on the rower, you can actually pace that a little bit more. You can slow down because you can't gain as much time. Whereas with calories, you can really gain a lot of time or lose a lot of time by going fast or slow.
I really wish I could fast forward myself in real life while I'm on the machines.
I like feeling the suffering.
Oh, you like it?
No, I'm getting better.
Are you? Do you like the suffering, Mia?
Yeah.
I'm weak.
All right, so in the round of 15s, I think that was 5 to 6.
Yeah. I think she's been doing sets of 5 to 7. And then there's been some where she's kind of like missed the target or taken a little bit of an extra break. But it seems pretty consistent that she's doing sets of 5 to 7 throughout.
Small breaks or small sets on wall balls is not a bad thing. And I mean, she's not tall, so it's going to be a more challenging movement for her.
Yeah. I mean, in the 15s, 3 sets of 5 is fine. Like, especially if you're just kind of like dropping it, kind of picking it back up. I know at the elite level, they'd be doing probably all the wall balls unbroken, but it's you got to just figure out with whatever capacity you have how to figure out how to go quick. And I think small sets on wall balls with quick breaks is very, very efficient if you're starting to get redlined.
And for that set of 15, her rest breaks were 5 seconds for each of those.
Yeah.
And that's really, really good.
So in the round of 9, when do you think the sprint finish should start? The beginning of the round?
Yeah, I would say yes. I feel like you can. Yeah, I think you could start kicking on the rower. What do you think, Brandon? Depends on how messed up you are.
Yeah, it really. I think it really does depend because you don't. Mia talked about this a few minutes ago, but you don't want to blow up on the Echo Bike because even with 9 calories, let's just say you completely get wiped out and you're only holding like 150 watts.
Yeah.
That takes forever to get 9 calories.
Yeah,
so
you take 45 seconds to a minute. To versus
I think that
seconds.
I would save it until I get to the bike. I know that's only 9 cals and then 9 wall balls, but I could kind of punch the bike and that would make up a lot of time.
So is the bike a full sellout and then you just know you can do 9 wall balls?
Yeah,
I don't think I could sell out 9 cals and then immediately go to 9 wall balls.
Yes,
I think if I sold out, that's it. I'm done.
But if you're already redlined, you can't. You can't sell out.
Yeah, the sellout
bike. So
isn't going to be that
problem.
like max power.
Yeah, you go to push it and it's like wah, wah.
Yeah, I find a lot on the Echo Bike that my sprint finish is the pace I started at.
Yeah. But you're trying.
Oh, the worst is like you're going numb.
Yeah.
Legs are tingly.
Yeah.
So we just got nine cals and 9 wall balls left, right?
Yep.
So this is the sprint finish.
It's hard. It's hard to sprint on the Echo, but I think it helps if you close your eyes a little bit.
Just
close your eyes and drool.
I guess that's my MO.
Keep your eyes closed no matter what.
I tried doing that on GHDs the other day, and I thought I was going to throw up afterwards.
Oh, that
doesn't
makes
work
me
on
sick.
GHDs like Toast
I like
Bar.
picking one spot on the ceiling for a GHD. Just stare at that because otherwise I get really nauseous.
Another thing you can think of if you can't quite punch the calories when you're like trying to kick is sprint your transitions. Try to focus on that as your sprint finish, like not having a slow walk to the next movement and just trying to keep that really quick.
So you're saying just basically finish the bike at your pace, get to the wall ball immediately, pick it up and go.
If you can't push the bike more, which,
you save a lot more time. So if you are doing this and you're at this point in the workout and it's possible, I mean, she's 23 minutes in now, so she's probably not feeling so hot. But if you can push the bike, I think that's a big separation in terms of
It
total time.
definitely is.
Be
Yeah.
worth it.
All right, final 9.
1, 2. I love counting. 3.
You're doing great, Max.
Thanks.
Still looks good. Let's see if she'll hang on. Yep.
Oh yeah, she will.
Nice.
I like it. So that longer break before she started, I think actually makes sense to keep these unbroken.
Bam, and we're
Nice.
done. 23:30.
Great job, Kristen.
Holy shit. There's no way I can stand. It was so mental for me. I don't know, I definitely grabbed a snack in the middle. Anything over 15 minutes is really tough, so I wouldn't normally want to do this workout, so I'm glad I was asked to do this one. It's a good push. I definitely fell off pace on the rower and the bike. It's hard for me to maintain a strong output, especially with movements like this where I'm 5'2" on a good day, so I have to use a lot of effort to get up here or just to get the ball up. So for me, I'm glad that I stayed moving. I know I paused a bunch. Hopefully some people can relate to that feeling, but I'm happy with the transitions for the most part. But yeah, it was just mental. I probably definitely could have picked it up sooner than I wanted. But I'm always thinking the next thing rather than just being in that moment. So thank you so much and have fun, guys.
It's a wrap, you know what I'm saying? Your boy Project Pata in this thing, man. Hey, look, man, thank y'all for watching Training Think Tank's YouTube channel. Y'all hit that motherfucking subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead, man. Thank y'all for watching the channel, you know what I'm saying? Hit that motherfucking subscribe button. Let it be known, what it be known, what it be known, you know what I'm saying? Pata.